But Representative West, you hear the president go out there and grandstand on the bully pulpit of his press conferences, and he says that the Republicans are not willing to compromise. They're only interested in maintaining tax cuts for rich Americans. It sounds like he's not really interested in the same kind of growth ideas that you're interested in. He's just interested in this class warfare and trying to, raise taxes on the people that Americans think have the money to pay for these things. And he's not understanding the repercussions to our economy when you start taxing the job creators. Is the president's concern here about growing the economy, or is his concern about playing politics?
The president's concern is about getting reelected. The president's concern is that he is an intransigent, liberal, progressive socialist who is also a Marxist because of the class warfare rhetoric that he espouses. And I think that when you heard him on Friday, and the more he comes out and talks, the more truly out of touch and incompetent he seems. But when he says that 80% of Americans want their taxes raised, the first question to the president is, do you realize that 47% of wage-earning households in America don't even pay taxes?
Yeah.
So I don't know where he's getting this statistic from. Furthermore, when you look at the top 1%, they're paying about 35 to 38% of the taxes. When you look at the top 5%, now you're talking about a little over 50% of the taxes in this country. And when you talk about the top 25% of wage earners in this country, now you're talking about 86% of the taxes being paid by them. So when he continues to drone out this rhetoric about shared sacrifice and how they need to pay more, how much more is it? And I twittered out a very simple, parallel. If you want to rehabilitate a crack addict, you don't give them more crack. If you want to reform the federal government, you don't give them more of the hard-earned taxpayer dollars of the American people. And I think that's something that the president has to recognize.
All right, Congressman West, I got to ask you, your colleague in the Congressional Black Caucus, Sheila Jackson Lee, she came out this week and said that all this opposition to the president is somehow rooted in racist feelings. So, Congressman West, how long have you been a racist?
Well, according to the liberals, I guess all my life, because I am not part of their 21st century plantation. But I sent an email to Sheila Jackson Lee Friday as I was sitting in the airport coming back home, and I just asked her what was she thinking when she said that, because this has nothing to do with the skin color of an individual. It has everything to do with the failed economic policies of this president. It has everything to do with the fact that this president has, in less than 3 years, added $4.5 trillion to our debt. This president has had a 1.42, a 1.29, and a projected $1.65 trillion deficit in his years there. And everyone wants to talk about George Bush. His highest annual deficit was only $400 billion. And I say only because when you compare it to where we are now, it just doesn't seem that big. So, the failure of the stimulus, the failure of this thing that we call Obamacare with its 1,400 waivers that have been given out to political cronies. Attacking this president is not attacking his skin color. It's attacking his failures. He has a vision for this country that is anathema to the vision of the Founding Fathers and our belief in individual responsibility and accountability and our free market and free enterprise system.